In this lesson today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite Ray Price records, Nightlife. This one features Buddy Emmons on steel guitar. This is one I've learned a lot from. I've pretty much learned every single intro on this record, note for note, and a lot of my vocabulary comes from this record. So it'll be fun to share some of this with you and relate it to the cage system, pentatonics, double stops, and common embellishments. Again, all of this, just like I've talked about in my previous live lesson series, is all in promo for my new course, Music Theory for the Country Guitarist. If you're struggling to understand how your fretboard is laid out, how it relates to classic country and kind of modern country guitar, and want a good firm foundation to build off and be able to learn from, I highly recommend checking that course out. It's going to go through the cage system, how it relates to pentatonics, how it relates to playing dominant sevenths within those pentatonics and highlighting the seventh tones that kind of lead you from chord to chord, as well as common double stops and then embellishments on those double stops, kind of in a lap steel, pedal steel vein. And all of it's applied to classic country intros, turnarounds, and outros. So you're immediately making music with all of these things. So I'm also running a little Labor Day sale, so 20% off if you use the code Labor Day, all caps, one word, now to tomorrow. Just go to my website and you put that in whenever you purchase something at checkout, and it will apply the discount automatically. So we're going to be taking a look at the intro, or an approximation of the intro to Sittin' and Thinkin', a tune that's on the Nightlife record, and I'll drop that in the link below as well after this is done. This intro is going to be in the key of G. It's going to be a 4 and then 15-11. So it has a bar of C, bar of G, a bar of D, 2 bars of G. So we're going to be working out of our C chord, A chord shape right here at between the 3rd and 5th frets. Then we're going to be working out of our G chord, E chord shape. And then we'll be working up into our D chord, A chord shape, and kind of the higher parts of that triad and chord shape. So I'll play the intro for you, and then we'll break it down. All right, so that's the intro. That's what we're going to kind of learn today here. And we're coming into this kind of a pickup where I'm going. So I'm playing this high G off the C chord, right? It's the 5th of C. And I'm just kind of picking us up into landing on the C note there. So I'm going G, octave, G, A, B, C. This is a really common steel guitar kind of intro. And that is leading me right into this double stop here, where I'm going to play G and D together on the 1st and 2nd string and hammer on with my pinky. We talked a little bit about this move in our last lesson, but this is just a C double stop. It's like a suspended 2 sound, right, with our D. So we have, okay, so that's the move. I'm using my middle and ring finger to grab that. You can do 1 or 2 of those, and then I'm going to be working down the G scale. So what I'm thinking here is all of the notes in G, we're playing G and E, F sharp and D, E and C, and then D and B to resolve into our G triad here. So I don't necessarily think of all of those as like separate double stops. I just think of they're all in the key of G, and they're around this G chord here. So I'm just leading myself back into this chord. Okay, so I have this, and I might grab the bottom. I do this kind of intro quite a bit in kind of different ways. So I have all over the C to the G. Okay, now I'm going to move up to the 5 chord. So what I have here, I've got my A and C highlighting a D7, right? And moving up to the B and D, that's like out of my G chord here, and then into my C and E. And what I do here, instead of just playing the double stop like that, I add in my middle finger as well to get the F sharp. So it's a D7 with a 9 or second, right? It's a nice D7 sound. And again, this kind of move, you've heard that a million times in these country records, right? It's just a common way of playing at 15/11. So when I move up this kind of double stop, I'm still thinking in G. I'm not necessarily thinking each individual double stop. I know I'm breaking it down like that, but I'm thinking all of this is kind of G territory, right? Between these two G chords. And then when I want to highlight the flat 7, right? That's when I'm really thinking about my D chord there. Okay, so I have this kind of, that's kind of a cool move where I do kind of like it's a pick and then middle ring and pull off. And then I'm gonna walk right down into my G. So far we've got C, G, D, G, G. Right? Something along those lines. And then I'm ending it with this kind of nice cliche steel bend. Right? So I'm just playing G, D, G, that octave. And then I'm going to bend up my B to a C. That's the suspended sound, the suspended 4 to be more exact. And just built off that double stop there. And then I'm just going to release it. And you can do little embellishments, right, with those little triplets, what I do there. And then come down and pull off. So I have this. And you're there. So one more time all together, slowly. And with the rhythm. All right, so that's going to be your intro. And again, whenever I'm playing this, I'm relating it to all of these chord shapes as I move through them. And then what I like to do is I'm probably going to play another shuffle the same night. I'm going to move all these things around and apply them in different shapes and in different keys. And I'm not necessarily coming up with new things. I'm just kind of reusing and recycling my vocabulary. So I highly recommend check out the Ray Price Nightlife album, and all of the Ray Price records with Buddy Emmons are must-haves. You got to listen to those. They're really, really great. And then I just recommend, if you want to kind of dig deeper into understanding your fretboard in these very practical ways, and the classic country intros, turnarounds, and outros, and then how this is going to inform our soloing, please check out my new course, Music Theory for the Country Guitarist. You can check out the first 2 sections for free. And if you want to use the Labor Day sale, that's going to be all caps, one word, Labor Day, for 20% off now through tomorrow. I'll see you in the next live lesson. Thank you all.